Hi everybody, it is Julie and welcome back to Nobody's Beauty Guru. I am here with a huge declutter, and unlike some people when they do declutter series, I didn't break it down by different categories and show you my whole collection because my collection is not actually ready for showing yet. I'm still in the process of organizing and getting everything where I want it. So what I did was I went through my entire collection of makeup and pulled out everything that I knew I was going to get rid of, and I have it laid out in front of me, separated by categories. I have the total number of products that I'm going to be getting rid of in each category, and then a total number that I'm actually pretty excited about. I have been doing purges pretty regularly, so I'm actually really surprised by how much I found that I need to get rid of. And a lot of this was actually the product of finding makeup storage that I forgot I had. And I realized I didn't need a whole lot of that stuff because I hadn't been reaching for it. I completely forgot it was there. But let's jump right into it and see what I'm decluttering from my makeup collection. Let's start off with the foundation. So I have a couple concealers and a couple foundations. Let's go over what I'm getting rid of and why. First up is one that was actually passed on to me by a friend. This is the Tarte BB Cream Tinted Treatment Primer with Broad Spectrum SPF 30. I loved the finish on my skin. I love the coverage. The color match was fantastic. It broke me out really, really bad. So I can't keep it. I'm going to try to find somebody else that this color matches because it's still good. There's no reason why somebody else can't use it, but it just didn't work for me. Next up is the Physicians Formula Youthful Wear Spotless Foundation with SPF 15 in the shade Light. This expired in 2015. So I'm gonna get rid of this. And next up is something that I got on HauteLook. I thought it would be great, and I actually bought it as a mixer. So I knew this color was light. This is the Carez Anti-Aging Foundation. This is in the shade Porcelain. I thought that I could use it to lighten up my other foundations that might be too dark, my summer foundations for winter, etc. But the undertone of this is completely wrong, so this will not work for me. So this is going to go to a very, very, very fair friend. Next up are a couple of concealers. I have the Essence Match 2 Cover. Both of the shades work for me. They're both nice. I've had it for too long, and I have a ton of other cream concealers that I need to go through, so there really is no point in keeping one that's too old to use safely around my under eye area. And these are the Physicians Formula Strength Concealers in Fair Light and Soft Green. So this one was meant for color correcting and just general concealing, under eye, blemishes, etc. I also bought this way before I understood color correcting and way before I was actually really doing that in my beauty routine. So there's no point to me having this. And this one is just off. It's just gone too old. So those are going to be cleaned out from my collection as well. So that was 3 foundations and 3 concealers, 6 items so far out of my collection. Next up, let's go into face powders. So I have blushes and bronzers, some powders, some creams, some gels. So let's jump right into it. First up is an e.l.f. HD Cream Blush in the shade Diva. It's ridiculously old, and it's probably one of the oldest cream blushes I have. This is just not for me, so I'm gonna go ahead and just put this in the trash. Next up is another cream blush. This is in Glow. This is by NYX. I love their cream blushes. There's like goo and hairs and grossness stuck in this, and it's just old. I have a lot of their other cream blushes that I reach for way before I reach for this, so I'm not gonna keep something I'm not gonna reach for. Same for this Josie Maran Coconut Water Cheek Gelée in Pink Escape. So that is what this looks like. This is just a small sample size that came in a Josie Maran set. I forget what I got, but this is just old as well. It's not something I reach for. Color payoff isn't really there in terms of what I look for in a blush. This is a Coastal Scents blush that I got in a, I think it was an Ipsy bag. This is a bronzer blush, or just a bronzery blush duo. This can go to somebody else. That hasn't gone off. And next up is a Laura Geller. I think this is from one of their sets I got on QVC. The color is not bad, so I'm going to give this to somebody else. It's stunning. Somebody else is going to love it. I'm just not going to keep it. This is a Milani Baked Blush. This is in Red Vino. This would look phenomenal on somebody with deeper skin tone than me. And dark skinned women, men, but this does not work for me. Okay guys, hair had to go up, but let's get back into the blushes. I also have an e.l.f. contouring and blush bronzer. This is in St. Lucia. This is a cult favorite. They say it looks a lot like Laguna and Orgasm from NARS. I just didn't love this as much. I've tried Laguna, didn't think that this was actually the same. I have other bronzers and other blushes that are similar to these that I'm not holding on to it. Also, e.l.f., this is their blush palette, and this is in light. And again, these are gorgeous colors, and there's nothing wrong with them. The pigmentation, the formula, everything about these is actually really, really beautiful. It's just not something that I reach for. I have too many other blushes that I use more often, so it's going to go to somebody else who will actually give it the love it serves. Last up in the face category is a Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzer with SPF 15. This is in Bikini Contest. And this is a giant pan. It's just a little too warm toned for me. I really do not like something this warm for my skin. So I'm clearing out 9 of those for my collection. Time for all of those to go. Next up, we're gonna move into lipsticks, and I am not a lip person. I started to be a whole lot more when I started to use liquid lipsticks, but in general, lipsticks are too high maintenance for me. But for a while there, I really thought that I would be, and I thought that I could just get into it. Not how that worked. So I have a ton of lip products. So first up is a couple of Wet n Wild, or red color rather, and a purple. These are little minis. I love the Wet n Wild formula, but they're not colors I'm reaching for. They're not colors I'm going to use. These are going to go. I have an e.l.f. color. This is in Classy. It's a little bit too pink. Does not look right for me. That is going. Same with this. This is within these Adobe Walls. This is from Wet n Wild. This is a corally sienna burnt orange kind of color. Doesn't work for me. Forever ago, Essence sent me a whole bunch of products to try out, and they sent me this one in Cotton Candy. Nope. When NYX came out with their Butter Gloss lipsticks, I wanted to love them so much, and I don't. And this I got in a very bright color, and it moves everywhere. It was constantly outside of the lines. I couldn't do it. Brew by MAC, and I am decluttering that. It's old, it's gross, it's back to MACing. I'm gonna let my sister do that. She can have it, and she can have whatever perks come along with back to MAC. And then I also have a NYX High Voltage lipstick. Same thing. These just moved too much. They were just too glossy. This is a gorgeous color, too dark and high maintenance of a color to go with this kind of a formula, in my opinion. Next up were a couple of the Jordana Modern Mattes, which I actually really, really love. I just don't find myself using these. If I go for a matte lipstick or a matte formula with these colors, I'm going for a liquid. So these are going to go to different homes. So that was 10 lipsticks. Those guys are all going. Next up, I'll do lip liners because I don't have very many. Lip liners are not something that I use. Again, my love of liquid lipsticks makes it very easy to not use them, so I'm getting rid of every lip liner that I own because I'm not going to use them. NYX retractable lip liner in Plum, Nude Pink, and Plum. These are fantastic liners. I actually really recommend them if you use lip liners a lot. I just don't, so they're gonna go. I also have a unique one that somebody sent me. This is in Posh. This is like a crazy pink color. Sorry guys, it's just, I also have an Obsessive Compulsive Cosmetics. This is in Lydia. This is one of their pencils that's actually kind of gotten like white on the end. Makes 4 lip liners. I hate lip gloss. I don't know why, but I'm just not a fan. These two are 100% still sealed. These are from C.O. Bigelow. This is the Menthol Lip Tint in Pink Mint, and this is the Pomegranate and Lemon Lip Cream. I love these. They're actually really, really good. Yeah, they're old. So next up are a couple from e.l.f. This is their Lip Tint Balm in Grapefruit. I don't go for colored lip balms in tins like this, in jars like this. And then I have 2 of the conditioning lip balms with SPF 15. These are gorgeous. This is in Mellow Melon, and this one is in Blissful Berry. Blissful Berry, and Mellow Melon. This packaging is ridiculous. It's really big, it's bulky, you gotta like twist off the cap. There's a little like stopper on it. You need to either have a brush or you're gonna get your finger dirty. I'm just not reaching for them. I've got a couple of the NYX butter glosses. I don't dislike their butter glosses. Of any glosses, I do prefer them. These are just colors I wasn't really wearing. So I've got Cupcake, Strawberry Parfait, and this is Apple Strudel. I think I've got Maple Blondie. Apple Strudel's pretty close to that, so I'm just gonna go ahead and declutter all of those. I have Peony Petal, and this is from Pop Beauty. This was in an Ipsy bag as well. The smell of this, I think, is what's making me get rid of this. This I know was an Ipsy. This is Hikari, and this is in Merlot. Beautiful color. I'll never wear it. I'm getting rid of 10 lip glosses. These are either liquid lipsticks or balm sticks and things that are still in like stickish forms. So let's go over these. This is a Mega Slick by Wet n Wild. This is a balm stain, moisturizing lip color. It's not bad. I used it a good bit, but I'm not gonna keep it. The next are some Jordana. These are Twist and Shine Moisturizing Balm Stains, and these are in Cranberry Crush and Rockin' Rouge. If I'm gonna go for something that is either red or vampy, I'm gonna go for a liquid. I'm not gonna go for these, so they're going. I also have All Glossed Up by Hard Candy Hydrating Lip Stain, and this is in Marvelous. It is just not gonna happen for me. I have a Tarte. This one I did try to use up. It's orange. It's not the right tone for me. I don't care for the color. I don't mind the formula. I don't mind the mint. I don't mind anything else about it. I just don't like the color, so that's gonna go to somebody else. Next up, this is definitely getting decluttered and thrown away. This is Outlaw by Kat Von D. This is old and separating to the point where like if I pull this out, it's like oil and it's not cute. This was actually a find, I think, at TJ Maxx or Marshall's, so I think it was already, they'd already changed the packaging on this. So it was older packaging and older product when I got it, and then it's been a little while since I've used it or since I've had it. But it is a great formula. I love the Kat Von D liquid lipsticks. I'm sad that I didn't use this more when I had the chance, but it's just too old and it's gone off. This is Pink Lust by NYX, and this is one of their velvet suedes. It's gorgeous. I don't mind the formula. I don't mind the smell, nothing, but just not something that works for me. This is in Love Affair, so this is one of the Madame Glam. They sent me a whole bunch of stuff a while back. Very, very pretty. Nothing wrong with it. I will give this to somebody else. It just doesn't work for me. ColourPop. I was so bummed about this, guys. I ordered it. I watched the lip swatches. I tried to do my research, make sure that I was ordering something that I thought was going to work for me, and it doesn't. This is Prim. This is an ultra satin lip. I thought this was a burnt red. It's a brown. I don't do brown lips, so that's going to somebody else. Next up is a NYX Jumbo Lip Pencil in Burgundy. Don't prefer this kind of formula for a color this dark, nor the application method. You can't get a precise enough line, or you're trying to sharpen it all the time. Then I have a couple of these tubes. So I have a lip tar. This is from OCC. This is in Lydia. It matched the pencil that I had. Again, too old. It's separating inside of here. It's gotta go. J-Cat Beauty. This is in Red Potion. It's actually a very pretty color. It was in here because it started to like leak out a little bit. I'm not gonna mess with a lip liner, you know, brush. I'm not gonna go through the trouble with a color this dark or with anything, honestly, is what I've realized, is that this is just too much of a hassle for me. Last up are two of my Milani. These are the Amore mattes, and the reviews on whole were all pretty positive. I got these with the highest of hopes, hated them. Like, can't wear them, hate them. This is Embrace and this is Flirt. They didn't dry down enough for me. They were patchy. They were too liquidy. I didn't like the way that they applied. And then last up in this category is something by Kaylin. This is in the color Acid Pink. And for that reason, it does not work. Somebody else might love this color. It's not for me. So 15 of those are all gonna go to a new home and get out of my collection because I am not using them. I'm gonna stick with the stick theme and go to eye pencils. So I have 4 of these chubby eye pencils. This one is a NYX Glam Shadow Stick. It is a tealish green color. I have my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencils if I want something that bright, but really I would probably just use Milk and then use one of my shadows that's around that same color. I don't need a teal eye base. Then I have the Tarte Brown. This is their Smolder Eyes. This I find is 1, too big to use as a liner, 2, too quick to dry down for me to really use as a base. It doesn't smudge out the way that I want it to. And I've had them forever and I'm just not using them, so I can go to somebody else. I have another one here, and this is in Fig, which is a gorgeous burgundy purple color. I'm not using them. And then next up is an Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Shadow Pencil in Mushroom. And this was a Haute Look purchase. I have used this down to the point where I would need to sharpen it. I haven't sharpened it. I didn't love it. I know that Mushroom is a super popular shade. Wasn't a fan of this pencil, and I will be getting rid of this. So that was 4 of these. They're all gonna go. Next up is an e.l.f. smudge pot that I love. This is in, I have no idea because the sticker's not on it anymore. I love it. It's barely used, but it's dried out. It's too old. So I've already placed an order for another one. I love those. But next up are a couple of these long-lasting lustrous eyeshadows from e.l.f. And they're cream shadows. They're very nice. I have a brown and a purple here. I just don't love how much glitter there is in these. And some people say they're not hard to work with and that the glitter, you know, works on their lids. For me, if I do any kind of blending or even do anything with a brush for these, I get glitter fallout. Actual color of those are gorgeous, and I'll let somebody else use them. I have an e.l.f. single baked eyeshadow in Bronzed Beauty. Nothing wrong with it, just not a color that I reach for, and a color that I probably have in some other palettes, so I'm gonna let that one go. I also have an e.l.f. cream eyeliner. Should have been in with my eyeliners. I thought it was another pot. I did swatch it. It's still creamy, so somebody else can use that. That's not a problem. It's just not for me. And I have a single eyeshadow from e.l.f. These are both from e.l.f. And this is Dusk. It's just a gray color. And purple. Really? Just purple. Just don't use them. And then this is a Yabby eyeshadow in Seashell, which is just like the tiniest little pot. I'm not going to use it. They're going to go. And then I'm also getting rid of this Makeup Geek Shadow in Americano. This came shattered, so it's broken inside of there. It is a gorgeous, rich chocolate color. I'm going to pass it along because when I contacted Makeup Geek, they sent me a new one that wasn't broken, so I can just use that. So I had 10 of these single shadows that I am getting rid of. And last but not least are my eyeshadow palettes. I'm getting rid of quite a few of them. Essentially, they're just ones that I am not using, haven't used enough, didn't like. We'll go over why, but I'm getting rid of this Coastal Scents little palette. The colors aren't bad. The pans aren't magnetic. They're tiny. I just don't reach for them. Somebody else can use them. Next up is a Fantasy Makers from Wet n Wild. This is a Trick or Treat Halloween in a navy blue and a shimmery gray. Nothing wrong with them. They're Wet n Wild shadows. Wet n Wild shadows are great, just not using them. I also have a BH Cosmetics California collection. I believe these were all different shades that were in different collection palettes. Like I think each color in here was in a different palette together. They just kind of, I'm not using them. They gotta go. Also getting rid of a Hard Candy palette that broke. This was Birthday Suit. These were all mattes, gorgeous mattes. At that, I did use the heck out of some of these. The lid broke off, excuse that. But I don't know if you can tell that there's giant dips in some of these. I did use this a lot. Just not something that I'm reaching for anymore, and somebody else can, so might as well pass that along. The same is going to be said for this Smoky palette by NYX. The colors all kind of blended into a little bit of nothing. I never used this shimmery one. I used a lot of this purple, a lot of this tan, some of the black. Somebody else can use that. I have a NYX palette in Mon Cherie, and this one I also got a decent amount of use out of. I have a considerable dip in this pan, in this one as well. I use this Hunter Green quite a bit. I even use this pink. The gold has quite a dip. It's just not one that I'm super reaching for. I'm also getting rid of my Kat Von D This is the Beethoven palette. You did see this already. This was in products that I've hit pan on because I did hit pan on this brown color. This I'm not reaching for. I don't use this whole side, this blue, this slate, this yellow. I used these purples for a while, but I'm just not reaching for it anymore. This is by e.l.f. This is ridiculously pigmented. The shimmers in this are phenomenal. The mattes, not so much, but this is what it looks like. It is a super neutral palette. I'm gonna let somebody else who is a neutral lover love the heck out of this. This is the NYX Butt Naked Turn the Other Cheek palette. A whole bunch of super neutral shades, and then in the bottom out slides some highlighters and some blushes. It's not something that I reach for. But this is the 28 color Smoky Eye palette. They weren't horrible in pigmentation. I'm never gonna reach for that. If I wanna pop a color, I'm gonna find it somewhere else. I don't need to keep that. Somebody else can use it. And the next thing was something that I thought I was going to love. And I don't know why. I got it. I've never used it. Never. I have swatched it. I have never actually applied these shadows to my eyes, ever. This is the BH Cosmetics 18 color Galaxy Chic palette. Like, are you kidding? They're beautiful, they're shimmery, they're absolutely gorgeous, and I'll never use them. Which makes my palette declutter a total of 11. And in total, because that is everything for this particular declutter, I am getting rid of 86 makeup products. I want to still be able to buy stuff I love, I want to use stuff that I love, but I want to get rid of and pass on what doesn't work for me. And these 86 products just don't work for me. So I feel a lot lighter without these in my collection. I'm really, really excited to go ahead and share these with people that are gonna love them a whole lot more than I did. And yeah, so that is my makeup declutter for September of 2016. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.